What's up guys, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make hard techno drums. I've learned a bunch of new stuff for the style recently, so I wanted to make an updated video. To go along with this video, I just dropped a new sample pack called Best Hard Techno Drum Loops. The link is right at the top of the description, and what this is it's these 5 drum loop kits where you can see you get the full loop, plus all the individual layers, as well as the Ableton files. So I'll play you some of these really quick. So again, you get all the individual loops, plus the Ableton files for all of those. Plus, I've also included a free pack of acid lines, some bonus synth melodies, as well as this bonus 303 rack for Ableton, which you can just drag right in and make your own acid lines. So you literally have everything you need to make a super nice hard techno track in this pack. Again, I just wanted to create a really high quality resource for you guys to take your tracks to the next level. There's not a lot of good stuff for the style out there. There really isn't. But these sample packs on my website, to be honest, in my opinion, are some of the best on the market. They'll really take your tracks to the next level. You know, with these tracks, the drums are a lot of it. Like, if you have good drums, you can make a bad track sound pretty good. But if you have bad drums and a good track, it's not going to work. So, take your track to the next level. Grab these drums. It'll give you a really, really solid template to start from, to just take your stuff immediately up to the next level. Like, if you're looking for something you can do today, right now, to make better music, grab this sample pack. I promise you, it'll take it to the next level. Link is at the top of the description. This also helps support me, guys. You know, I don't make a whole lot off of these videos, but with these sample packs, I'm able to keep bringing you guys new videos every single day and showing you guys stuff that isn't out there yet. Thank you so much for all the support. Again, link at the top of the description, and let's dive in. So, I have this drum loop in front of me. And so we're going to start with the kick. And I have something new happening here. You can see, so the kick is 2 layers, right? We have our kick. Just the punch, nice and dry, no extra processing, just a very powerful, clean kick. And then we have the bass. And to make the bass, you can hear it's a nice, like, rumbly bass, right? But it's not that standard type of reverb rumble. You can see there's no reverb going on here. So the way this is being made is it's actually using a feature inside of Ableton where we can take a sample and warp it in the simpler here. So it's literally just the kick. Like, you can just duplicate that kick punch and then you warp it. And then over here you see you can stretch it out. So I just stretched it out like that. A little bit of drum bus, which you can hear makes it a bit more full, and also can help bring out the bass a little bit. And then a low pass filter, so that we're getting really just the bass. Sidechain into the kick punch, and then an EQ at the end, which is cutting out some of the low frequencies that you really wouldn't hear anyway, and then also cutting out some of the high frequencies. And yeah, so that's how you make that rumble bass. And again, this is a different way of doing it, but I want to show you guys how to do this because I think with the reverb rumbles, that works really well for, like, maybe a little bit more smooth techno or like a little bit softer techno. But with this really hard, powerful techno, you want the bass to be like boom, boom, like really, really full like that. And this is a really good way to just get an extremely full bass, right? Like, because if you use the reverb, again, like, the reverb rumble can get pretty hard, but I think this is just going to sound a lot more full and fatter and more like a bass. And again, it's still using that original kick. Like, this whole thing, this kick, punch, and the bass are being made with one sample. And yeah, then on the group, there's just a bit of EQ. And the other thing here, this isn't just about actual sound design, it's also about making the track. The reason I'm showing you the kick and the bass first is when you make your track, you always want to start with these two. Like, even if you have like a good sample in mind for some other drums or something like that, ultimately, if you start with the kick and the bass, you're setting like a solid foundation for yourself. Like you're setting up like a something that everything else can sit on, and you need that because the kick and the bass are really like the main like punching, like driving force in the track if you think about it. So why not start with them and get that thing sounding really good right off the bat? And then once you move from the kick and the bass, then you can go up to kind of the more in-your-face drum elements, like the main hi-hat. And this one is a technique I've talked about a little bit before, but you can really hear it here. It's like having an open hi-hat, which you can hear is very full. It has the body to it, but it doesn't really have the like at the start, the punch. So then when you add in this closed hi-hat, see, it gives you that perfect amount of punch. And that's really one of those things where, like, you know, you can sit there all day with drum bus on this open hi-hat, turning it up and turning up the transient knob and doing all that kind of stuff and going, oh man, why is my hi-hat still not as punchy as I want it to be? Or you could take that, which is already good, it's just missing a little bit of like punch, and then layer it with this hi-hat that already has all the punch. And there you go, like it does everything you would ever want that processing to do. And that's something here too with the drums, you know. Just because it's hard techno doesn't mean it should be hard to hear the sounds in your techno. And what I mean by that is like if you overprocess your drums, like let's say you go, alright, I'm making a hard techno track, so I need to like overly saturate the hi-hat and overly saturate the kick and stuff. It's going to get really messy, and with these harder styles, you actually want it to be a little bit softer on the processing and just keeping everything really clean, because that way you can like kind of get out of the way and just let it all shine and let this intense groove play out without all the overprocessing. So we've got that, and then the next thing here, if we're speaking on like the main drums, is this 808 clap. And so what it is it's just a clap from an 808 with some distortion on it, and that's how you get that really punchy like snare kind of sound out of the clap, right? It's just very, very heavily distorted, as you can see. Now, I've shown this technique a little bit before, but I think what can really be highlighted here is it's not just about that punch. It's not just about the ch at the start. There's also all of this space over here, like all these little like this like tail of the clap basically, and that is actually going to be distorted too, and the distortion really brings that up. It almost kind of like compresses it a bit, you know, and then you get this like where like without this stuff the clap would really just be like a right, it's very short, but then you add it and now it becomes this big snare, and you don't need any reverb, but it sits really nicely over top of the beat, I think. So yeah, so those are kind of like the main drums. Again, I would start with the clap and the hi-hats and the kick first. Like get this groove really good. And then we can add in some of these little background loops. Now, we need some of these for a bit of life, because if you just have the main drums, you can hear it's very rigid and flat. But then when you start to add in these loops, that's what gives it the life. So you need a combination of programmed drums and loops. Now, with these you can see there's no processing. You know, it's very straightforward. It's really more about the sounds that you're selecting. Like, okay, so this shaker, for example, is very much in the high end. Like, if we look at this on the spectrum to illustrate, it's mostly happening right up there, right? And then if we look at the rave loop, see, that doesn't even have anything up there. Like, where the shaker was the loudest, there's almost no information in this rave loop. So then when you put these together, it's going to fit really nicely. And that's really what it's about. It's about layering together these samples that do like two different things, and then having that fit underneath the whole drums. And also not just two different things, but two different things that really fill out the frequency spectrum. Like we have one in the high end, and then one kind of in the mids and the low mids. And then when you put those together, it just creates one really nice fat loop. And the thing is, I think a lot of people want to start with this. Like when you hear this style of techno, you immediately think, oh yeah, it's the cool rave loops and all that. But if you start with this, you're going to get really messed up. It's hard to make this and then like put the kick and the bass on top of it. You're always going to be kind of wondering why your mix isn't quite right. Versus if you just start with the kick and the bass, get those really loud and punchy, then get the main drums, and then come and add this stuff underneath it, it's going to fit a lot better. Like the order in which you make the track has to not just be about like what you're inspired by, but really like the order of how important things are. And that'll keep it, I think, a lot more streamlined and keep you from spending so much time wondering why you can't quite get your kick and your bass loud enough. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full sample pack, the best hard techno drums ever. The link is at the top of the description. Again, you get all these individual loops from the kits, plus the full Ableton file for each drum loop. Again, I'll just play you some of these. All super solid stuff, plus the free bonus acid blinds, the bonus 303 rack, and the bonus synth melodies. Again, you get everything you need to make the best hard techno track you've ever made in your life. If you guys want to help support me, definitely go click that link and grab this. You know, I don't make a whole lot off of YouTube, but I put a lot of time into showing you guys how to make these style of tracks. So if you've enjoyed and you want to take your tracks to the next level, click the link at the top of the description. Grab the sample pack now. It's available on my website. Grab it while it's still available. Again, guys, if you want to make your best tracks you've ever made, this is the one. It's going to give you everything you need to take your tracks to the next level. Like I said in the beginning, you know, drums are the make or break thing for a track. If you have good drums, you can make a good track. So get yourself the best resource of drums on the market now. Link is right at the top of the description. Again, you get all the individual loops, so you can build your own drums out of these. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Every little bit helps, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.